In this video, I'm going to show you how to calculate AI tokens and AI API costs in several ways. The first one is going to be pretty straightforward if you're in a hurry. And throughout the video, I'm going to keep expanding on how you can do it, on several examples, and maybe more advanced methods. So if you're in a hurry, you can calculate it in just going to agentstower.com. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to reload this. And this is a little calculator that I have in my website. And if I paste this is how you can do it in a manual way. And I'm going to show you well how you can do it also with your code, okay? But first, let's focus on how this works. So you write the prompt that you are sending. It can be like really long. And then in here, you write the model that you are going to be using. For example, if I use GPT-4, and then in here, you can choose if it's input, cached input, or output. The most common one and the one that's going to be used the most is input. This one is the text that you send to OpenAI in this case. So I'm going to click and calculate in here, and you can see in here that it is giving me a token count of 47, and there are several ways to validate this. We're going to see one in a moment. And this is the cost that is giving me. As you can see, is really low. It's less than, so that's 0.000094. So way less than a penny, right? But this can be really long, and or you can be sending a lot of prompts, and that's when the cost can stack up and it can get really expensive. Now we can modify this model. For example, we are going to use O3. And as well, we're going to send the same thing. So that's calculate. And in here, this is the cost. Like we can disregard this, all of these other zeros. So it's 0.00047. So that's different. And just to make another example, we can use GPT-4o, and it's going to be another cost. So we send this, and it's going to see another cost, but the token count is staying the same. So this is a way you can do it with a calculator. But this calculator is actually using a JavaScript package that it's published in NPM. If you don't know what NPM is, don't worry. We're going to see those things in this video. Okay, I just wanted to make this first example if you were in a hurry and you wanted to do something really fast. But now we're going to start getting into the code and getting into how this is working. So this tool, this little tool, this pretty basic tool, is using a JavaScript package published in NPM that I developed, and I just publish it in there. And here is the code. Here's the code. This is just HTML, and this video is really for someone that's just starting in web development. So if you are something that is more advanced, you're going to see several things in here that shouldn't be done, like if you were following all the best practices. But I wanted to have everything here so that I can explain it easily for someone that is just starting out and wants to start working on their code. So in here, I have the script that is calculating, that is making these calculations. And this script is using this package. The package is called AI-meter, and it's published on NPM. And we are obtaining, or we are using the code in that package using this URL. And this is something that can be done in a lot of different ways. This is how you can do it in the most simple way, in the most basic way, and just everything in the front end. You don't have to worry about installing NPM or installing Node in your project, or basically nothing about that. We can make it this way more advanced, importing this package in your backend, and all those ways are possible because of the way this package is developed and it's added to the NPM package repository. But we're going to keep the things simple in here, and if you want a tutorial about this more advanced, please let me know in the comments or send me a message, and I'm going to try and make it for you, okay? But let's do it this really simple. I'm going to explain this in pretty basic terms. How this is working is we have the HTML in here. This is what we are seeing in here. So then I have here the prompt, that is this text area, the model, that is this, and the input. And then when I make a click in calculate in this button, this function it's called. And this function, it starts doing, well, following these steps. And these steps are using this variable, this object that I created in here, importing it from this package. We can modify this name. It doesn't need to be this exact name. For example, you can use your own name in here. For example, my name, or my name, I don't know if you want to do it, my name 5. And then we just replace this in all of the places where it's being used. That basically is just in this. So we paste it in here, and this is going to still work. So this is irrelevant. We just need to follow these things. This needs to be script. It needs to be type model. So that is a requirement to use this package as it is. And then we're going to use import the name that you want to add from, and using this URL. Then we need to work on the logic that we want to follow. In this case, the logic is adding the values in the front end. But we can do whatever we like with it. We can make other calculations. We can store the values. We can do conditionals to if the tokens are more than, I don't know, 1,000. Well, don't let the call go through. And so how does this work? We use AiMeter in here, and we assign its value of what is responding us to this constant. This is a variable. It's called metrics. You can also change this. We need to use await because this is going to take, it's not a lot of time, but it's not instantaneous. So that's why we use await. And then we are going to use this method from this object that we are importing. So you use metrics, and we send the model. In this case, is getting it from here. Then we send the prompt that it's getting it from here. And then we send the type of input, if it's input, cached input, or out. And the package is going to calculate everything. So in here, we assign that to metrics, and then we show the value that we want using metrics.tokens for the tokens, metrics.cost for the cost, and then we are showing this. In here, there are other objects that I want to show you, but for that, I need to go to my local development area. So let's open the developer tools, and we're going to go to console, and let's do something in here. Let's instead of just showing it in here, I'm going to add something. So I'm going to add console log metrics. I'm going to save this. This is going to automatically reload. And if we send the same thing that we had in here, I'm going to copy it again. Copy, paste. And here we are going to write, I don't know, GPT for input, calculate. And you're going to see how this calculated, this gave me the same number in here. And in here we have the object. Here you can see how this object that's coming from here, what are the objects inside this object. So for example, we have costs, we have tokens, but we also have cost details. These cost details have several other elements that you can use to validate that the cost is being calculated correctly. So you can add logic if you want to in your own application. But that's why we need to write metrics.tokens in here to show the tokens, just the tokens, and then metrics.cost to show it in here. And then we have these other details that I'm telling you, that we are using the standard pricing method or mode, because there are other modes, for example, batch, or when you are using fine tuning, or there should be other ones. I'm also returning the cost per input token, per cached input unit, and output unit. You can also see these packages if you go to agentstower.com/prices table. So in here, I have it in here. We have all of the packages, all of the prices of at least the most used or the most known, the better known models, like from OpenAI, from Grok, from X, from Azure, from we have Mistral, Anthropic, Vertex from Google, and we have a lot of models in here as well as their prices. And so, for example, you can validate this using, for example, this searcher, GPT-4, and we can see that there's a standard price and a batch price. The standard input price is $2 per a million tokens, but this package is already taking that into account. So I wanted to make it the easiest way for you, so that's why it's returning you the cost. And this is the difference between this package and other packages in the market right now, that this is making the calculation for you. You don't need to calculate tokens with a separate package or in a separate way than with the one that you calculate the costs. And this package is also obtaining the costs from a free API that it's in agentstower.com. So that you can be sure that you are getting the latest price or cost from each one of the models, because you don't need to be updating and doing all of those things. And that's why I developed this package, because we were trying to make calculations and add that to our logic in our AI agents that we are developing. And we didn't have a way to calculate or to get this easily, like tokens, but with the cost and everything in one simple package. So that's why I developed this package. That's why it's published in NPM, so that you can use it. And actually you can also fork it and make any modification that you want to. So that's basically it. That's everything that I wanted to show you in this video. I'm going to be making other videos about this package and about how to work with AI, but that's everything for this video. Please let me know what you think about it in the comments, what else you want to see, and see you later.